Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. To my bed crimers, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you for checking out the channel. Let me just ask that after listening to and or watching the video, if you found you enjoyed it, please do me a favor, smash that like button. And if you want to support the work I do, please consider a Patreon membership. You'll find a link in the description. Now, let's dig in. Something monumental happened in the Natalee Holloway case today, and that is that Joran Sloot finally confessed, allowing her family to finally get the answers to the questions they've had all these years. And I wanted to read his confession to you tonight. So here goes. Before I do that, let me just say that it's a violent description, pretty visceral. So if you find such things triggering, please do not listen. These are Joran Sloot's words. She asked to go back to her hotel, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from her hotel so we could walk back, and I might still get a chance to be with her. That's what I was hoping for. Deepak drops me off at another place, a little right of the Marriott Hotel, known as the Fisherman's Huts. This place is not far from, the next hotel is the Marriott, and the next hotel after that is another Marriott, which is a timeshare, and then it's the Holiday Inn. We walk along the beach. Deepak and Satish leave. They go back to their home. Assume they go back to their home. They get in their car and leave. I'm actually with Natalee walking along the beach. I find a space before we get to the Marriott Hotel where I lay her down. We lay down together in the sand and we start kissing each other. I get her to kiss me again and we start kissing each other. I start feeling her up again and she tells me no. She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist. I keep feeling her up either way. She ends up kneeing me in the crotch. When she knees me in the crotch, I get up and I kick her extremely hard in the face. She's lying down unconscious, possibly even dead, but definitely unconscious. And I see right next to her, there's a huge cinder block laying on the beach. I take this and I smash her head in with it completely. Her face basically collapses in. Even though it's dark, I can see her face is collapsed in. Afterwards, I don't exactly know. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I decide to put her into the ocean. So I grab her and I half pull and half walk with her into the ocean. I push her off. I walk up to about my knees in the ocean and I push her off into the sea. After that, I get out. I walk home. And that's it. That's the confession. It's really worse than I could have ever thought. It's heartbreaking and it's despicable. So there you go. Prayers for the Holloway family. They have to live with this. But now they have the answers, as hard as they are. I can't help thinking about Rachel Morin. What was described of the crime scene in that case seems very similar to what Joran Sloot confessed he did to Natalee, meaning taking a very heavy object that he just grabs from around him and using it on her head and face, which leads me to wonder if the perpetrator of the Rachel Morin crime is similar in his psychology and behaviors to someone like a Joran Sloot. Clearly, it's a very vicious person, very bad temper, no self-control, full of rage, and sexually motivated. Something to ponder for tonight. Let me just tell you a personal story. When I was 13, my parents took me to Cumberland Gap in Kentucky, which is why I have such a love of that state. The Cumberland Gap is absolutely so beautiful. There's water. It's just green and gorgeous. We stayed at one of their parks, which had an A-frame home that was absolutely stunning. We went boating, we went swimming. I was 13, I was rocking a bikini. I was kind of feeling myself, and there was a guy who worked in the lodge in the dining room, and I thought he was so handsome. So I'm telling my mom, this guy is so cute, I want to meet him. My mom, who was extremely naive, tells me to go sit on his car and wait for him to get off work. Super shy, I have no idea why I listened to her, and I did this. And he came out from work, and he apparently liked me back, so we made a little date. And let me tell you, I'm flirting with this guy like crazy. And I will admit I was wearing sort of provocative clothing. I was wearing short shorts, and I had a pair of espadrilles that went up your ankle with a tie. And I'm all tan, and I'm young, and I'm like feeling my oats. So this guy actually takes me out on a date in his car, which I'm shocked that my parents allowed me to do. My dad definitely had reservations. So he takes me to meet some of his friends. One of them is named Moonshine, and it's because that's what he makes. He makes moonshine. I don't know if I drank some moonshine, I'm not sure, but anyway, we get back in the car, and he drives me to a remote area with a beach. And like Natalee and Joran, we start kissing. And this is pretty much my first romantic kiss, other than the one that I got in like first grade, where I had a knit cap over my face and I let a guy kiss me through the knit cap. Well, now I was naive because this guy had another plan for our evening. And he quickly makes that plan known to me, and I start freaking out. And as much as I like him and I think he's cute and I've been flirting with him, I am not up for what he thinks we're about to do. So like Natalee, I say no. And again, I'm on an isolated beach that I have no idea where it is. I have no idea how to get back to our A-frame cottage. I'm at this guy's mercy. Well, let me tell you, gone was the charming guy, and in his place was a very angry young man. He starts the car, he throws it into drive, and he tears off. And thank God he takes me right back to the A-frame. I was deeply distressed. I was very upset, but I didn't want to tell my parents what happened because I thought that they would have a fit and they'd probably go to management. And my dad is watching from this A-frame. He sees the car pull up and he's just like watching. You know, he was once a young man, so I think he knew better than my mom the potential dangers I was facing. So when I think of Natalee, I think I can understand her naivete. I can understand her wanting to leave with this guy that she maybe thought was cute. But in her case, unfortunately, Joran didn't work for maybe the bar or the hotel. I truly believe the only thing that saved me is that the guy wanted to keep his job. And perhaps he didn't have the psychopathy that Joran Sloot likely has. But it's these brushes with potential danger that just make me take a deep breath and say, oh my gosh, I was so lucky. That was pure luck that I got out of that unscathed. A silly little 13-year-old who thought that she was sophisticated. So many of us get lucky, but then there's always the few that don't. What I learned from this, don't flirt like that, and don't always listen to mom, because sometimes mom is naive. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories.